And once again, I'm Ari. I'm the founder of Awkwardly Zen and one of the support team here. I have the lovely Jacqueline who has got my back and is watching this room. There's 32 of you here right now, which is so awesome. And I am so excited, you guys, to introduce you to Heather Fleming. She is one of our newest partners with Awkwardly Zen. She was brought to us from the amazing Paula Robbins, who has been a partner with us for a long time and is such an amazing person. Hi, Paula. Paula, who's snacking right now. How many people brought snacks to the nutrition event? I'm just curious. I've got a little bag of snacks over here, and the irony of what I'm eating is not lost on me. Anyway, so we are going to be recording this today. It's going to go on our YouTube channel, so you can find Awkwardly Zen Network over on YouTube if you want to catch the replay of this. Make sure you found your chat. We will be sharing that over there. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't worry. We'll put all of these links in the write-up for that, so you don't need to worry about that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spotlight Heather for us. Okay, everybody. Now, just a reminder that if you do not want to see only Heather's face, you can go up to the top corner where it says view and you can change it to gallery. You can change it to speaker view. That's totally up to you. But for the lovely recording, we're going to spotlight Heather. And Heather, I am passing it to you. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Ari and Jacqueline, and my sister Paula. I love Awkwardly Zen. When Paula introduced me to you all, I was like, what is this group? Where do I sign up? And I went to go sign up and now I'm a partner. So that even worked out way better. And now I'm here in this beautiful room with all of you amazing Zenners. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to do a little calming our vagus nerve exercise to get us started too. But I'm going to share my screen first just to get that going. All right. And I have a keynote. There we go. All right. So tonight is Nutrition for Intuitives. I am kind of reworking some of my content, and I can't wait to share it all with you. What we will review today, thank you again, your time and energy are so valuable, so I totally appreciate you being here. We'll be reviewing some of the conscious nutrition, compassionate and scientific philosophies, the Nutrition for Intuitives 4-step process. And my wishes for you is just more nourishment. I'm not a rigid nutritionist anymore. I've done it all. I've been there. I'm a recovering perfectionist nutritionist. I want you to increase your own intuition, your instincts, your energy, and have a yummy quality of life. Hopefully you moan more with food. So here's a disclaimer. There is no diet. I have no regimen I'm following or a specific modality. I talk about a few that I dig. It's all about your subconscious, your psyche, and balancing your nervous system, right? If I wanted to call myself anything that I don't know if it was not sexy enough for marketing, and I didn't, but it would be a nervous system nutritionist. And I do want a disclaimer. I have a cute little dog. Hopefully she's chill. So she may come up to be a part of the screen too. Another disclaimer. All right, so let's balance our left and right brain, the hemispheres of our left and right brain, and relax our sympathetic nervous system, especially when I'm a little nervous. I think I'm excited too. So, right, that's fun, being excited about something. All right, so this is an exercise by Donna Eden. Does anybody know her? A super cool woman. Yeah, right. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do it first, and you can do it along with me if you know it, and then we'll all do it together the second time. All right. So you're going to lightly cup your eyeballs like so, and you can close your eyes. If you're not driving, please don't do that. And then go ahead and inhale through your nose. Exhale, rubbing over your eyebrows to your temples, and press pretty well there as you exhale. Inhale up over the top of your ears, kind of behind here, pressing here, inhaling. Exhale, round your ears down the sides of your neck. A good press and hold here. Okay. All right, let's all do it together. Ready? Cupping our eyeballs. Inhaling through our nose, exhaling, rubbing up over the eyebrows, pressing the temples as you exhale. Inhale up and over to the top, scalp behind our ears, pressing. Exhaling around to the sides of your neck where our thyroid and some lymph energy is. How's that feel? You can do this 3 to 5 times anytime during the day when you're feeling that rattle coming, that rattle of like stress. All right, again, this is not a protocol of structured eating plan. So just big disclaimer on that. It's all about trusting you, and I hope I give you some tools to work with that. All right, me, I'm an intense Virgo. Paul and I's birthdays are 1 day apart. Yet superpower, sensitive, empathetic, intuitive, fiery, ocean loving, Nebraska native, California residing woman. So I was like, it was like a joke that I was dropped in Nebraska and I'm like a mermaid and I was like a little turtle and I made it over to California. So right now I'm in San Diego. I lived here for 22 years. I'm down here going to the vet and get my hair cut. But I just bought a tiny home up in Ojai. So my dog and I live on top of a mountain in a tiny home. That's how I'm conserving my sensitive nervous system. I study nutritional science at the University of Nebraska because you always study what you need to learn. I was allergic to Nebraska. I was allergic to wheat, corn, the air, hay fever. And so I had digestive difficulties since a young age. I was on antibiotics for almost 15 years. And so my gut was a hot mess. So I studied nutrition and then I made it over to California. Now I probably would call myself closest to an integrative nutritionist. So I'm a certified clinical nutritionist now. I love the left brain. And then I remember the day that I was like, uh-oh, I need to help people with their emotional eating. I remember what I was wearing that day. I remember, oh, this is bigger than just telling people what to eat. So I'm a rebel too, and I believe our nervous systems are unique and sacred and our emotions matter. Maybe some of us here were told that your emotions don't matter, your needs don't matter. And I believe feeling our feelings may be what's missing in some of the other nutrition protocols out there. We might be bypassing some of those feels. And here you all are in Awkwardly Zen. All right. And my vision purpose is to provide you with a nourishing home base so you can keep coming back to yourself as you release guilt, shame, frustration, confusion. And besides nutritional science, I love metaphysics, quantum physics, heart math, psychology, energy medicine. And the more that I don't know, we know I like. So that's where I'm approaching all of this from. And you, my favorite clients to work with are intelligent, intuitive, sensitive souls. Anybody here sensitive or empathic? And it's been your biggest Achilles heel and your superpower at the same time. And then they're all rebellious. I love rebellious clients. A lot of my peers do not love rebellious clients. I'm like, oh, I love it. I get it. Because we get to work with our own resistance. You may have struggled with yo-yo dieting, or you have a complicated relationship with food, or you don't. That's cool too. Good on you. I have a very complicated one, and we've come to love each other. You tend to be empathetic and compassion. And like I said, maybe your needs didn't get met, you're overwhelmed. If you're empathic, sometimes we numb too, and then we use food to numb us and when we're in freeze mode, which I'll talk about. And like I said, you may feel defeated trying to follow a program because like I'm mentioning, it usually bypasses right here. Do you see how I have this cute little picture here? Gut, head, heart. So when we go to just our left brain, we're all just like logic, but we also have this thing called heart. And our heart wisdom has a lot of knowledge in it too, besides our gut. So gut health is what led me to becoming a clinical nutritionist. But then I realized how much of our mindset and our psychology and our psyche and I like to call it our operating system, plays a role. So has anyone felt a fear without even seeing it, right? We felt it and your body started to get nervous and shake. Like, look at, isn't that amazing? We can think a thought and have a visceral physical reaction. So I'm just wanting all three of these to work better together. All right, is my volume okay? Everything all good? Oh, good, awesome. So here's my teaser. These are the 4 steps, but I'm going to go into them deeper at the end, towards the middle end, and you get a free gift today too. So if you stay in, you'll get to the free gift. We'll have a link and all that. But I came up with these 4 Nutrition for Intuitives 4-step process, and we're going to dive into each one. I'm going to set us up a little bit more with like a foundation before we do. All right, the whole reason I do this career, anybody here felt guilt around food before? Any shame? Right. And I laugh about it, not to make it demeaning, by the way. Positivity is my number one trait. So I try to like, it's not toxic positivity. Everyone's like, it's just toxic. I go, I swear. But I do believe our humor, like it has lightened mine up dramatically. If I've taken a lighthearted approach versus that critical can we swear? Can we swear or no? Oh, we can. Okay, good. Critical a-hole approach. Oh my God, I was such an a-hole to myself for so long. So, and I won't go back. Like I won't. So I use that little bit of little lightheartedness in there, and I do believe it helps shake up that shame and guilt. So what I see is this diet cycle, and it's, it never ends. It's like constantly out there, and we have that diet mindset, like I need to restrict, and then I give in, and then control. So fear and control are usually a little left brainy, and then and then rebellious and intuition and creativity is usually right brainy, right? That kind of makes sense. Logic versus creativity. I love to bring in both. Every time I work with a client, I want to bring in the logic, and I also want to bring in what's going on in their psychology around why they're not trusting themselves or why we're always in fear mode or control. All right. Here's nutrition 101. This is the most nutritional science we'll probably talk about today. When I see a client, I have them do an awesome intake form, and I want to get to know like what their perfect day is and what makes them happy and what, challenges them, what makes them stressed. And so when I get that intake form, I look at which organs and which part of their mind, body, spirit is malnourished, actually. So when your body's malnourished, you're not getting nutrition, so we can't detoxify. That's it. That's all nutritional science is. Then it leads to inflammation, like I said, toxicity, weight, health issues, and everything. So I would say my favorite part of my job is I'm like, yay, I get to nourish everyone. I get to see which organs need what food. So I ate some papaya with lime before the appointment because I went to Willie Nelson last night. So I was up really late. So my voice is a little tired. So I was like, ooh, papaya. And I woke up craving it 2 days ago, by the way. And then I ate it today. So I believe my intuition prepared me for support and to give myself nutrition when we need it is a fun way to look at it. So, all right, then we have this thing called stress. Anybody have stress? Or I refuse. No, I refuse. So what used to be our stress is being survival, right? We would go out, our nervous system would go out and anticipate our threats. Okay. And we would be like, uh-oh, here comes a saber-toothed tiger. We're under attack. And then our nervous system would go into fight or flight, and then it would calm down, right? We've all seen our dogs do that. They get scared and then they shake. One of my favorite books, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, by the way, is super great book if anyone's not read that yet. And it shows like the zebra's chased by the lion and then shakes off and then goes drink of the watering hole and forgets that it was chased by a lion. It's not looking over its shoulder all day, worried about the lion. Most of us aren't living like that now. Most of us, the saber tiger might have been healthier threat than what some of our threats are at this moment. So what's making us not feel okay, our nervous system lives with that longer. So this is one of my favorite charts. It might be a little heady, but if you all love it, science, let me know. This is in your free gift, I believe, too. And we can give my PowerPoint away as a PDF also, too, if we want. I'm more than happy to do that, too. I believe some of it's over in the free gift. I use this a lot to help my clients understand themselves and our nervous system, again, sacred, okay? It's our everything, actually. It's our everything. So it feeds all the organs, right? It's our foundation. So here's our parasympathetic nervous system. This is the rest and digest nervous system. Anybody here rest for 10 minutes after they eat? Ideally lay on your left side. I had a large lunch today because I did eat dinner before Willie. I had a snack, and then I was hungry today for you all, so I was trying to time it. And I go and I lay down on our left side. Our stomach is slightly to the left, and so that'll help the stomach acid break down our food and then break down our food better so that it's properly digested before it dumps into our small intestine, which all of our nutrition gets absorbed. Isn't that cool? Our bodies are so amazing. All we have to do is give it little nudges. If you're exhausted for 30 minutes to 2 hours after every time you eat, there may be something else going on. 10 to 15 minutes is actually normal. you might notice that all your blood's in your stomach, right? All your blood's in your big organs, breaking down the food. So your arms are cold. Whenever we leave a restaurant, it could be 100 degrees out and you're like, oh, I'm chilly, because all your blood is breaking down your nutrition, and your extremities are like, I don't need the blood. Go get the nutrition from everybody. Oh, wow, that was a cool tangent. I was on it. What was I talking about before? Okay, parasympathetic, rest and digest. So this is the ventral vagal part of the parasympathetic. This is our connection to safety. I would say safety is the other thing I love to help my clients feel, because what goes along with safety? Trust, oriented to our environment. So joy, being in the present, groundedness, curiosity, openness, compassion, mindful. So if you eat a brownie in this energy, guess what? You're going to feel great. You're going to feel great. You'll probably not have as big as a blood sugar spike. You probably will absorb it better. You probably won't feel bloated. But if you eat it up here and flight or freeze, you're going to feel maybe double whammies on that. You might feel bloated. You might feel guilty. You might feel mad or anxious. So the goal is to always get our nervous system to green. Okay. That's why we did this little exercise too. That's why we did the Donna Eden's exercise. What does she call that one? Radiant circuits. That one's called radiant circuits. She's so cool. Okay. Then here's sympathetic. This is normal. This is what we have to live, right? And we want to be able to get our fight going. Like, I'm like, okay, I want my yang to go and get some things done. The bummer about flight is it usually is moving away. We go to overwhelm and I can't. There's a little bit of an I can't. Look, oh, I give up, right? We've all felt that. And then all of a sudden, like a day or two later, you're like, well, I guess I have one more idea. Like it kind of burns up inside of you, like it ignites inside of you. And that's your fight coming back, okay? So flight here is moving away up to overwhelm and to I can't. And then we have our dorsal vagal parasympathetic nervous system. This is emergency state. There is some research on fawn too, like FAWN. Does everyone know that one? I'm a fawner. So I'm not a freezer too much. I'm more of a fawner, like kind of the deer in the headlights type thing. Freeze is I can't feel anything and I'm disassociated is what that one is. So it's helplessness, conservation of energy, depression. I had a client today experiencing freeze, numbness, shame, shutdown, hopelessness, prepared for death, feeling trapped. This isn't the time to go get your website going. This is the time to self-care, nurture yourself. You're here in Awkwardly Zen, where there is multiple facets of people that help you with self-care. I got a little tickle. All right. And then fight brings us back into the game. So guess what? One of the gateway emotions are to get energy moving is anger. And who here was told maybe anger isn't bad, or never felt anger to a certain age, or be a good girl, be a good boy, you're better seen, not heard. So your operating system is your subconscious is 0 to 9 is what I've researched, but I hear both, a lot of different ones. Does anybody, you can tell me your 2 cents, but I hear 0 to 9 the most. And that's part of where our emotions, and that's part of where our nervous system can operate from in the rest of our lives too. So I'm a big fan of anger, scream at a pillow. I always scream in the car when the dog's not there because she's sensitive. You'll go, whoa, it like moves some stuff. And then you're like, oh, I can see the world now. Otherwise you're in tunnel vision with these 3, by the way, too. And then look what happens to your physical body over here. So let's do the green first. I missed the green. What increases is digestion, we'll do the happy stuff, digestion, intestinal motility, resistance to infection, immune response, rest and recuperation, circulation to non-vital organs, oxytocin, you all. Like we can just sit here and be just in oxytocin mode, and then chocolate is a choice, not a I need chocolate so I don't hurt someone energy. Like there's the difference, right? But all you do, chocolate is wonderful, high in magnesium, by the way, dark chocolate, game on. I always have it, but I don't want to always need it. And then I know when I need it too often, I'm like, oh, babe, what's going on in here? What's going on in my nervous system? What's going on in my nutrition? What's going on in my emotions too? And then all those other ones are when things act up. We don't have to go through all those. Everything else acts up, but it's usually how we start to go into a disease state. Okay. So I was missing something in my program for a long time. I was, of course, nutritional science. So I had, here's people want, I mean, if I got a penny for every time someone asked me what to eat in my, I've been doing this career since whatever, 17, 18 was college. And then my career after that. And I'm 20 now. 22 now, so just a minute. I'm just doing it in a minute. But anyways, I was missing this operating system. I was like, what is going on? The psyche. So the emotional eating aspect of it all. So I created this food relationship type quiz, which I'm going to show you on the next too. So emotional eating is usually, we're looking for that freedom. We're looking to liberate ourselves from probably freeze or flight, don't you think? Because fight's kind of, we're not thinking about eating when we're fighting. We're like, come on, who can I, who can I get mad at? But the other two, flight, definitely when I'm anxious, if I have a tough phone call, I want to go eat something. Or when I'm in free state and just want to numb, potato chips. Oh my gosh, those Boulder potato chips are out of this world, right? Like you want to just like cut things off. Potatoes help you with dopamine. So food and sex are the biggest dopamine happy chemical releasers, everybody. Food and sex. So if we're constantly judging something that makes us happy, unless you're a breatharian, which I know a bunch, by the way, people that just breathe air for nutrition. I know them. I know them. I love food. So, and the other one, but I love food. So I'm sticking with this realm. So whatever your relationship is, I support you, all that jazz. But I want your relationship with food to be a balanced one. So there is joy and there can be more joy. So here's my food relationship type quiz, and Jacqueline's going to post it for us. And I only have 5 of them now. I used to have 8, but you'll get, it's none of them are judgmental. None of them are wrong. None of them are right. They're just like, oh, wow. And I'm all of them. So I'm the inventor of the quiz. So I'm all of them. And you can switch them around too. You can be one or the other. Like some days you might be a number and some days you might be a rebeller. So the main 5 are number, rebeller, comforter, guilter, and connector. And the goal is to be more in connection because that's the green. That's the green state. And when we're not in the green state, we're usually having anxiety or some other thing. So you can go to your quiz and you get like a cute results. I think you get like 3 emails from me talking about it. So it's not like 600 emails. That's it. That's all I got for that. But it's a fun quiz. And you get a mantra, which is in your free gift too. I have a mantra for each food relationship type. And I'll say the rebel one because that one's my fave. Even though I'm complicated, I love and adore myself. When I'm like eating those chips, mad at someone, I'm like, oh, I'm so complicated. But man, do I love and adore myself because I'm not going to go over guilt and shame again. I'm not. I just won't play there. Well, I look at my actions and my behaviors and observe them, but only from a place of self-compassion. So cool. And what I noticed too is that these food relationship types had a limiting belief in them. A limiting belief is usually a judgment about yourself that you think to be true that restricts you in some way. Is that the best definition of a limiting belief? I found it like on Asana or something. I was like, oh, is a judgment about yourself that you think to be true that restricts you in some way. Oh, I can't go to concerts. I don't have enough money. I heard it in December. I went to 2 this month. I was like, nope, I made it up. And then guess what? I made more money too. I'm just using a money one besides a food one, but the food ones too, like, oh, I can't eat that. Well, you know what? I never say, like, people think I have a laundry list of things I can't eat. Yeah, there's times I release some foods or minimize them, but I never judge them. I'll be like, oh, I don't prefer. So people that are very strong about, oh, of course you have food. We all have some food sensitivities or allergies, but be a little softer with that because we may have to eat it someday. You never know. You might be in another country. I have a friend who's a vegan and she traveled like really exotic places and people would have no money and give her her last piece of chicken. And she's like, oh, there is no way I wasn't going to be like, no, thanks. Does that make sense? Yeah. that taught me a lot about that like I don't want to say it, my self-indignation when I was a perfectionist nutritionist and I was going to take the highway or the no way. And so there's just some other things to be cautious of other people too, and yourself. So, and some of the main limiting beliefs too here, inadequacy, I'm not good enough, it's too hard, I don't have enough time, I'm not smart enough, I don't have money. Where did we learn these from? Why do they linger? Once our brain, are we gonna move this over? Oops. Once our brain locks into a belief, it creates support to fulfill this belief. And the strongest belief is the need to stay consistent on how we define ourselves. We are like holding tight on our personality sometimes, and we feel if we're scared to not be in control too. So these are just some of the limiting beliefs that come up with the food relationship type 2. Sorry, I had to move that over. And then what that does to our brain neural pathways is kind of get us stuck in ruts too. So that's why I love to be a nervous system nutritionist, because I'm seeing what patterns are going on with the client. Like one client was scared to enjoy her food because she got the kitchen table pressed into her a lot while she was eating as a kid. There was abuse there. That was yesterday's client. I had 7 yesterday. Today's was you can't talk at the table, no joy at the table, and you could not leave until dad finished, no matter if you were hungry, full, had to go to the bathroom, there's just some deep overwhelm and some stress. So what we're doing is gently getting out of those neural pathways, filling those up and replacing them with, like, she went and had tamales the other day. She's like, I didn't even know I love tamales. Like, just those are so great. They're easy. So there's new ways we can build them. And I'm sure someone in our Awkwardly Zen has talked about this. Has anyone seen this good old iceberg before? It's always a good reminder. So the subconscious mind is 90% of how we operate. So that's where I got the food relationship types too. So beliefs, emotions, habits, values, protective reactions. We're putting ourselves in defense mode a lot. Long-term memory, imagination, intuition are in there too. And then we try to do nutrition programs from here. Willpower starting Monday. And then by like 5 o'clock on Monday, you're like, what program was I going to try today? You're like, don't even remember. So our critical thinking, we have 90 thoughts a day, and 50% of them or bigger, I've heard 70 even too, were the same as yesterday. And your ego's job has been keeping you safe for 25,000 years from that saber-toothed tiger. Okay. And these 4 steps that I came up with are just going to help you release these patterns in a gentle way instead of extreme. I'm not a fan of extreme anymore. If it works for you to do short-term, great. Just be careful of the hypothalamus doesn't like extreme. Our body wants to keep us in homeostasis. Our temperature, our blood pressure, our heart rate, like our body doesn't want us to be like, what are you doing? Why are you starving me? Or things. So that's just something that I wanted to make sure I said. And then we're working with our own resistance always by shifting our beliefs. So making it harder is, I've never as a nutritionist have I taken away food and berated someone to make them healthy and lose weight. Did you hear that? I've never wanted someone to be hard on themselves, nor have I been hard on them to help them lose weight. Woo. Yep. So catch your thoughts every time you say that. Like, I've always got to feed them more nourishment. I've never been like taking away nourishment and then, oh, good, now your body lost weight. Yeah, no, I've never, ever. Okay. And the only thing I wanted to take away from this, you can tell how much I love conscious and brains, if we're always in our frontal lobe here, we're always trying to problem solve. And then we're trying to fix our food problem. But we also have this emotional state and we have this survival state. So I recommend to start with safety here, start with the red first. Am I safe? Like the client that, got pushed with the table, and she still eats like a young child still. And that's why she's came to me, and she's a brilliant exec too, so this isn't uneducated, not educated. It's the deep, deep safety in there for her to hide and fight. And then of course we have connection. Wow. If I gain weight with my parents or mom or dad, whoever, then I'll be loved. Has anybody met someone I've had a lot of clients like that, or if I lose weight with my parents, then I'll be loved. Or I'll eat fried chicken with them every Saturday, even though I don't want it to be loved. So that's what's in there. And then our executive state's trying to fix it. I would go here. I would go here first, work with some of these emotions. And if you fluctuate weight for a while, welcome to the world. It's okay. But that safety thing, the clients that finally, to me, have like really healed the deeper issues with their food, went into a surrender state. They were in a surrender acceptance state. They're like, I don't care. I never want to count a calorie again. I don't want to look at a macro again. And then their body felt safe. And guess what? The inner helped the outer respond too. But here's this one little issue. This is from Mike Dooley. Does anybody know him? The Notes from the Universe gentleman. I love him. He's got a great community. He's called Infinite Possibilities. And I'm giving him a shout out because this is like the best thing I've ever heard about baby steps. So this is why our brain does not like to take baby steps or small actions. I like to teach this because a lot of us beat ourselves up for how far we haven't gone to how far we've come. All right. Did I say that right? I said it right, didn't I? Okay, good. Thanks. They seem insufficient and not hard enough. Oh, our ego's like, oh, I can do better. They feel beneath us. That word was profound. Ugh, I don't want to just learn how to grill fish because that's just, I need to do more. There's more I need to do. The most of my clients, that's one of the main questions people have. Can you help me cook fish? And I'm like, absolutely. But they've never wanted to ask that before because it felt beneath them. You know, it wasn't going to help them get to their goals, and too easy. They can stir up, these baby steps can stir up fear and self-doubt, make us want to quit. So that's why we look for the extreme, like, oh, let me do this one instead. They can feel like we're going down the wrong path, which guess what? Yeah, you might make mistakes, but we learn how to fall down and pick ourselves up just like we did with a bike, right? They don't give us the immediate satisfaction results that we desire. And here's why we need to train our brain to feel more safe and secure with baby steps. They create clear, accessible intentions. They help you manifest change within and outside of you. They attract the right people, places, and opportunities that lead you to the next step. They help you gain confidence and strengthen your beliefs in yourself. And guess what? You actually enjoy the flipping journey, y'all, versus being so hard on yourself for not doing enough. Like, I want to moan till I'm 98 with a brownie. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I didn't eat brownies and now I'm a good person. I want to be like, oh, that brownie was great with me and my bestie at 98, you know? All right. We'll do two more and then we'll take a little break before I go into the other thing. Okay. So here's another nutrition one. Okay. No, not triggering anyone, but here's a bunch of different types of eating styles. I appreciate them all. I really do. They're all trying to give us some information. I think since I studied nutrition, I think we've overcomplicated it and confused it. And then honestly, I think in America, we just had way too many food preservatives that just threw off our whole chemistry. I remember my parents grew up on the farm and my dad drove the dairy truck. And our family went from raw whole milk to skim. And we remember it was like it was like kind of blue skim milk was. We only had one bathroom. We were so sick that like within a few days, we're like, what is this? The doctor told us to go to skim, right? Everybody was doing it. So we did too. And we were like dying. And we went back to whole milk right away. Like we were like, doesn't feel right. But a lot of us, and then I went on the non-fat diet. Anybody here going low fat, non-fat, right? Remember those, what were those called? Like SnackWells. And so we went to extreme to try to fix a problem that didn't need to really be fixed. Actually, that's what I see. That's my 2 cents. Anyways, I love the Mediterranean diet. I have a lot of vegetarian clients. I'm personally not one. Blue zones, Ayurvedic diet, Chinese medicine, macrobiotic diet, food elimination programs, medical medium dude's cool. I like a couple of his things. Plant-based diet, paleo, Whole30, anti-inflammatory, keto, autoimmune, low histamine, intermittent fasting. I'm old school. So if you do kind of go on my website, I have a food tree and I teach food combining. It's super simple. It was like popular in the 70s. It has this crazy chart. There's some old school books out there and I simplified it with this cute tree and it's not extreme at all. And that's the majority of what I teach and share with my nutrition. but I follow the Blue Zones dude. I love him. That documentary is great. I love learning. I have a recipe book too. Oh yeah, I have a recipe book. I probably should have mentioned that. You'll find out about it someday. But I have a recipe book that kind of breaks down some different meal ideas for you too. And then we're going to go into the 4 steps. And why I chose these is just because I love to read. I love consciousness. I love wellness. I love humans. I love our psyche. I'm really savvy at seeing the red flags when people are extra hard on themselves and they're unconsciously sabotaging themselves without even knowing it. And I want us to have more happy days, just more like nourishing filled days, both physically and emotionally. So we are going to head over there and I'm going to give you the 4 steps and why, but we can do a pause for questions and I can have a sip of tea.
All right. Well, we don't have any questions over in the side here. Oh, there we go. Someone is asking about a breatharian. Is that the same as intermittent fasting, or how do they survive on prana and how do you do it?
I don't know.
Hold on one second. From Awkwardly Zen, please, for the love, do your research. But go ahead, Heather.
Oh, please. I'm sorry I even said it. I just said it just to like use it as a term. And now I'm sorry I said it. I just love like I want to be accepting of everyone, but that would be a very intense and only do it with people you 100% trust. And I wouldn't recommend it actually.
Would you go ahead and though just say what it is, just so people who don't know?
Breatharians is they say they just live off breath and sunlight. Yeah. And then intermittent fasting is, taking time off from eating. So if it's a spiritual endeavor to go practice that, do it with someone who is very trusted.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
I say that next time.
Paula put over in the side here your meals, your printed recipe book. So thank you, Paula, for grabbing that. Does anyone else have any questions so far before we go into the four steps? Was that what it was? 4 steps? All right. I think everyone's ready to go. That was a lot of great information and a lot to think about in a different way. I love that.
Thanks, Erin.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now we're going to go to the guide. All right. So, you know what? We'll give the free gift at the end. I'll go through this first and then you get this. You get this download too. So you'll get a link and you get to put a coupon code in and get that. Okay. So these are the 4 steps. And I'm going to go through each one and give you my little why and what and where about each one. So number 1 is connect, and it's a heart. So you place your hand on your heart and you take 5 deep breaths. So if your nervous system is in fight, flight, freeze, or you just want to connect deeper, you're like, oh, I'm out for a restaurant and I'm like, oh, do I want the pasta or do I want the salmon? Just to give 2 things. And you just kind of close your eyes. No one's watching you. They're all looking at the menu too. And you just tune in. And you just kind of take those 5 deep breaths because you're going to get your nervous system into parasympathetic. And then I love it. I feel like the food chooses me instead of me being in that frontal lobe, trying to feel, think. And then we are also going to talk about the senses too, and the taste buds on how we choose too. So we are actually going to use more physical energy. Okay. So let's do number 1 first. And then you have like a little intro here. Your heart is where wisdom lies. Heart coherence can help us shift to the present moment. So what I think I should eat could be shooting ourselves from the past or fear of the future, versus heart coherence and presence is, you know what? I'm actually not that hungry. I'm just going to have a tea and make sure my friend's okay with me not eating. And so I can be more present with her. And then you know what? 9 out of 10 times when I say that to a friend, because I always be like, hey, can we call each other an hour before? So if you're my friend, I'm sorry. Or you're welcome. Can we call each other an hour before, see what we're craving, see what our intuition is? We can either co-create, see if we're even hungry. I don't know how your day is. I don't know how your nervous system is. And then we can decide what we need. And 9 out of 10 times, if I'm not hungry and I say, hey, do you mind if we have a tea or go for a walk? They're like, oh, you know what? I'm not hungry either. It gives everyone like permission to feel too, which is the next step coming up. How's that feel to everyone? Is that easy to do? Okay. And then why the 5 deep breaths? So again, when we are in a stressful state, we cannot be curious or empathetic at the same time. And if your superpower is your empathy and you're shutting it down because you're in a stressed state, that's what makes you hurt yourself too. We feel more hurt too. So this is huge for us. So I told you about the autonomic. So here's the ventral vagal. That's what we do here. And here's a little bit more about the 5 deep breaths too. Your bloodstream then carries, okay, so we oxygenate with the 5 deep breaths. And then our lungs are the main source of excreting toxins via your CO2, you all. That's how we get rid of toxins. So when we're sleeping deep at night, our liver and our lungs are the biggest two detoxifying organs that are getting rid of toxins. So if you're waking up a lot during your sleep, guess what? I noticed that in your intake form, and I help you with that too. Then at each cell in your body, oxygen exchange for waste gas called CO, carbon dioxide, and then your bloodstream then carries this waste gas back to the lungs where it's removed from the bloodstream and exhale. What? So this is, so we all can start hyperventilating now if you want to get rid of toxins. And then the other way our body releases toxins is urine, bowel movements. I love to talk about poop. Don't I, Paula? I love to talk about poop, bowel movements, sweat, even your eye boogers too. Even like, what else? I'm missing something. Eye boogers. I think I got them all. Sweat. Yeah, that's how your body is detoxified. So 70% of your body's toxins and body fat is released through our CA2. Like the day I found that out, I was like, all right, everybody, let's focus on that. And that's our vagus nerve. So that's why we did the vagal nerve exercise with Donna Eden. All right, so let's all practice. Number 1 together. Let's place our hand on our heart and take 5 deep breaths. You can do either nose or mouth. I prefer nose, but whatever feels best for you. Yay. Does anybody feel more in the green state a little? Just think if we did the 5 deep breaths before we went to the fridge 25 times. You know that day when you go to the fridge and you keep opening it, you're like, why am I doing this? Just stop. That's it. We do this. It gets us in connection. And I'm not kidding. The next time you go to the fridge, you'll see something. You're like, oh, I didn't even see that the last time. Because you're now in a more receptive state instead of defensive state. Okay. All right. Step 2, I'll come up here again. I should have had 2 going. All right. Step 2. Feel your main emotion for 90 seconds. So some research says 120 now, but I'll stick with 90, but you do you, but here's the reason why, okay? Why behind step 2. Sorry if this is making you dizzy, close your eyes then. Yeah, all right. When a person reacts to something in their environment, a 90-second chemical process happens in their body. After that, any remaining emotional response is just that person choosing to stay in that emotional loop. Does anybody have ruminating thoughts? I've got one that's just taken up some energy in the morning and I go, oh, and I ask what the main emotion is behind that. And there's some amazing emotional charts out there. I have a couple on my website too. I love Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Does anybody know her? She's the stroke of insight woman. She's the woman who had a stroke and she was a brain surgeon. She's one of the most popular TED Talks. And now she has a new book out called Whole Brain Living. I can't recommend it highly enough. So she says, when you wait 90 seconds to respond to that situation confronting you, the phone call, someone hurting your feelings, a craving, so we'll use food, you can avoid getting caught up in the loop of thoughts that further stimulate that emotion. Okay. So when we look outside of ourselves for authority of what we eat, we continue to feel powerless. But when we regain that power with our body, we learn how to nourish ourselves. All right. So I love this right here too. This little, we tend to overgive and underreceive. We perceive this imbalance. This comes out as anger, resentment, protest behavior, the rebel. I'm just going to show you, even though you didn't want to eat the chips. After you express anger or explosive emotions, you feel guilty and overcompensate to get rid of the guilt, because then you might be a people pleaser too. So this is how some of the feelings of shame and guilt dieting can come up. And it has nothing to do with your willpower. It's just the way our nervous system is handling that intense emotion. Okay. And then here's feel 2. So the left and right brain again. I love to talk about these. She says this best: we humans are feeling creatures who think rather thinking creatures than feel. So we're constantly in that frontal lobe going, I should eat this, I should eat this, I should eat this. We're not in our whole brain. We're still out of the survival. Remember the safety and, oh, I forgot the other one, safety connection too. Any attempt we make to bypass or ignore what we are feeling has the power to derail our mental health, you all. And I know that some of my emotions scared me too. And then we get to go I always see myself holding hands with that emotion that scared me. She said it best. Also, we can choose from a more conscious state when we pause to feel joy, discomfort, and inner confusion. So just the way we balance the left and right hemisphere is meditation, visualization, lightheartedness, body awareness, will help us feel more content and relaxed. If you're not ready to go down the rabbit hole and you're like out for dinner and you feel like anger, resentment come up, I do this little pinch here with my fingers to remind myself later. So I close the loop with my nervous system to be like, ooh, I'm going to maybe go journal on why the heck that caused me some unpleasant feeling. And then you can go journal about it also. And our brains desire acceptance mode. Otherwise, we're constantly in judgment mode, right? We're constantly bad, good, food's bad, this is bad, this is bad. I have never seen food not at a party. Food is celebration, it's comfort, it's nourishment, it's energy. It's usually something we rely on. And with any relationship, it can have its ups and downs. So it's our time, it takes time to develop that new relation, especially if you had a complicated one too. I see a lot of people don't deserve to feel like they live a nourished life. They don't want to have the pleasure. They're scared to have the pleasure. And then that diet culture has kind of let us down some of that too. So what we do is we turn up our senses and sensuality with food. I am going out to lunch with one of my besties on Thursday, and she's my favorite person in the world to go out to lunch with. She moans at every bite. She's the healthiest person I know inside and out. And I think I love food, and I just stare at her and just be like, nope, she's blowing me out of the water. So it's that freedom. It's that being in the present moment too. Okay. So I say, let's moan more as you practice when you're in the training of you too. And then when you do your quiz, you're going to get your mantra. So step 3 is mantra. Sorry, I keep scrolling. I should have had it on everyone. Mantra. So you're going to get your quiz. You're going to get your cool mantra. And I'm actually, you know what? I have them here. Actually, they're on here too. And you'll state once. So I already told you the rebel one. Does anybody want to guess what another one is? Do you want to pick one? And they aren't good or bad. They help you from reacting to your old conditioned limiting beliefs, okay? And we talked about limiting beliefs already. Our inner child, I do a little bit about inner child here too. I quoted Dr. Bruce Lipton here. The quality of the self-conscious mind endows humans with one of the most potent forces in the universe, the opportunity to express free will. You're not going to be stuck in your patterns forever. Like everyone's like, oh, that's it. This is just who I am. I can't change. You can change. That's why I wanted to put that in there too. All right. So let's say a few of these. Okay, here's some other limiting beliefs I put in here. These are the ones I actually really see often. When you were young, did an aunt mention you had a pretty face, but you were stocky? I see that one a lot. Or uncle, it can either be either. Do you believe that food was a source of comfort and love from your family? Did you bond with a parent over diet regimen? Do you believe it is impossible to be healthy and release excess weight? Did your weight protect you from teasing, abuse, or insecurities too? So these are a lot of what I work with. And then I say, let's begin with the declaration, and we can all say this one out loud together too, to ourselves. And when we declare this, we are wanting to shift our current reality, right? I declare I'm worthy of receiving the health, happiness, and wellness I deserve. I deserve to live the life of my dreams. And this will be in your free gift, or we can take a minute to say it now. Most of my clients do have an emotional response too. So you want me to say it one more time slow, or do you want to say it to yourselves? Or do it later? Okay, do it later. Awesome. Okay, then my rebel one. Oh, rebels, I love you. Here's their main limiting belief, rebels. No one can tell me what to do. So I might as well give up, cause distractions, and create more resistance. I love Aries videos. I love your cool videos. So which one would that be in your videos? Would that be the actress or not the
The ego.
Ego. Yeah,
Uh,
ego.
yeah, probably for sure. I don't know. They're all kind of rebels every once in a while.
Oh, right, right. I love her videos. So I love to like have a name for her. Sometimes she's Samantha, like I just kind of like work with her. But when I see myself really causing more distractions, I'm like, what is this about? Business, I sometimes can do that with too. So here's hers. Even though I'm complicated, I love and adore myself. So you'll take the 5 deep breaths, feel the emotion for 90 seconds, then state your mantra. Okay. So all this can be done in, was it 2 minutes pretty much? 5 deep breaths, feel the emotion, especially when it's a tough one. If it's just like, what snack do I want? You can just do the 5 deep breaths and put your hand on your heart if you want. Here's the comforter. Their main limiting belief is, I have to do it all on my own. No one helps me. I have no support. Feeling of powerlessness, soothing ourselves with food. Like, oh, like I usually see it with people that are overwhelmed. And so, oh, no one helps me. So there's a belief in there that there's no support. Their mantra is, I am supported. What else do I need? And 9 out of 10 times, y'all, it's not even a food. It's like, oh, I was thirsty. Oh, I actually wanted to do 5 jumping jacks quick. I actually wanted to scream. Like it's really usually something else. And then if it is food, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Guilter, their limiting belief is, it's hard for me to forgive others, especially myself. So that guilt energy is a little bit of addiction of not wanting to forgive or feel others or ourselves. So resentment.
Heather,
And
can I just pause you for 1 second? Just so you all know, this packet Heather's going to give you access to, so you don't need to worry about all the things she's going past. I've got a few people who are panicking.
yeah,
And then
get
we'll
it.
also put the quiz back in the, Jacqueline, if you could put the quiz back into the chat for those of you who came in late, she has a quiz that you can take to find out which one of these you are. Is that right?
And yes. And like I said, you can fluctuate. So that's why I did all of them in the packet. Because I was like, didn't want to do onesie because I wanted you to have all of them, because there's one day you might be in guilt mode or one day you're in comfort mode too. Thank you. So guilter is, I am ready to be honest with myself, others, my anger, and my feelings. I put both of those in there. Yep. Yep. And you might get uncomfortable in there too, because you maybe been feeling guilty to not feel uncomfortable too, is what I've seen a lot. Oh, I just feel guilty about it instead of doing anything about it. What these do too, this will help reduce cortisol, stress hormones, and create safety in our brain and nervous system. Because remember, safety, connection, then we're like, oh, I want to make a gorgeous fish meal or vegetarian meal. I want to go plant my garden. But when we're doing it from the opposite, like, I have to fix myself, then we're usually under more cortisol and stress. The main limiting belief for my numbers, they're usually highly sensitive people. They're usually empaths, is life is overwhelming and my feelings don't matter. They've been told that, they live that, they buffer, weight buffers maybe, or health issues are part of their buffer. And you do matter. You absolutely do matter. And numbing is putting you in survival mode. And you probably had to do that a lot in your life too. Because number is freeze up there. And then I found this picture because I'm trying to be lighthearted still as best as I can, because I don't want us to feel like, has anybody felt like this like today? Yesterday? And this is such a perfect mantra. And if anybody has better ones, totally do them yourself too. What is my energy and what's not? What is other people's stuff? Because usually the empath of their number is like, I can't discern what's going on. So what's mine and what's others? And that gives you a lot of relief and release, and your cortisol will be happy. And then connector. The main limiting belief for the connectors they're usually my old me, type A recovering perfectionist. How can I keep this momentum going? And the tendency to worry when it will end. Like I'm already stressed that it's not going to be perfect. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's the kind of the type A. Perfectionist is in there, even maybe a detacher too. Like you want to distract and detach from some feelings. And then the beautiful mantra is, I trust myself and choose what's best for me in the present moment. I trust myself and choose what's best for me in the present moment. And these all came to me, like, I don't know how, they just came to me. So I love them. If you don't like them, I get it. Modify them for you. Come up with your own mantra. But my favorite one is the rebel. Even though I'm complicated, I love and adore myself because, man, it's true every time. All right, step 4. Okay, we're scrolling all the way up. Sorry. Well, step 4, I can tell you. I can just tell you. Can I tell you? Before we scroll and make your eyes crazy. Senses. So it's the cute little senses thing is on there. It kind of looks like that, but it's hot, cold, sweet, savory. It has a cute little flavors on the step 4 up there. All right. This is one of my favorites. So my whole recipe book is broken up with recipes that are under hot, and they're my meal types. I use my food combining thing, cold, sweet, or savory, because I want us to use our because does anybody here brought a salad to work in which they had a hamburger? And then you're mad at the salad and you're mad at the hamburger, you're mad at everybody because so you want to do mommy is what that's called. Okay. We spend way too much time up here trying to control what we need to eat. Instead, we're going to practice firing up our senses. Oh, here we go. I did say that in there. The salad, you wish you had a soup or a burger. I probably took burger out because I have a lot of vegetarians and they sometimes have feelings around when I say that. So I want us to start to work with making meal plan more intuitive from our nervous system. Instead of it being, I should eat white meat chicken with steamed broccoli and steamed rice. Remember that diet? I was on that one by like day 3, and by day 4, I'm like, if this is life, I can't do it. All right. And you ready for this? This is like one of my favorite things to teach or share. It was learned in the world. Each taste bud is connected to an organ. Your organs tell you which flavor you need to heal and feel satiated. You all just take that in. So I remember the day I was watching 2 of my peers, I won't say their names, and I was so excited, and I was like, wanted to be them when I grew up, was a nutritionist, and they went on their podcast, or it was before podcasts. This is how long I've been doing this. It was like a little TV interview. And I was like so excited. I had my notebook out, and they're like, oh, if you crave sweet, just don't eat sugar and you'll get over it. So, and I thought they were kidding. I like laughed because I was like, who are their clients? Who doesn't crave sweet? And I remember just shutting my computer or TV off and was like, I don't want to teach that. I don't want to tell people to not eat sugar. Sweet is actually the tip of our tongue. And it's even sometimes the sides, some taste buds say. And guess which organ it's connected to? Our nervous system. I have that coming up. It's connected to our nervous system. Sour here, the sides, salty, bitter, umami. Umami's brain and tongue. So, oh, here it is. I knew it was around here somewhere. Here's my cute chart. So if I wake up and I'm tired from dancing to Willie Nelson last night and I crave sweet, I go, oh, I'm going to put some honey in my tea because I know my nervous system. Instead of, I usually don't prefer honey in my tea, but when I know that I'm like, ooh, I woke up craving sweet, or I'm going to have a buckwheat. I love my buckwheat pancakes. I'm going to put a little extra maple syrup on it today. Fruit and squash are the best, but sweet builds tissues and calms nerves, you all. So when your body's giving you the sweet and you're trying to deprive it, it's like putting a volleyball underwater. Go have the papaya, have the lime. Squash is another one. Like I said, what else is sweet even? 100 other things. Sweet potato. That's one of my other secret weapons. I'm like, oh, sweet potato French fries. We need those, or make them in your, oh yeah, I do have my recipe book here too. There it is. And it'll be in your free guide. And then sour is your liver. It cleanses tissues and increases absorption of minerals. Sour fruits, yogurt, fermented foods, which we hear more about now. Liver. Your liver is your master, like one of the master organs. It has over 500 different functions. So if you're craving sour, that's why so many people say lemon water, apple cider vinegar. It's to help flush that liver. Okay. Salty. Who here ever craves salty? No one? Not anyone here? Right? Our kidneys, it enhances flavors in foods and lubricates tissues. Who here doesn't know someone that has achy bones and joints, right? So this is your sign that I'm a big fan of the Celtic sea salt, the Himalayan. I'm doing both. I'm doing like my own study. I like to go back and forth with things. natural salts, sea vegetables. I do that dulse shaker. You can do like dulse, D-U-L-S-E, sea vegetable shaker if you want to put a little extra umami salt on your food. Bitter is your digestive system, detoxifies and reduces inflammation. Dark leafy greens, herbs and spices. Some people even, what cultures do, like a little digestif, right? Like a little licorice root or a little bitter drink even. A lot of cultures have this in their daily routine. Us Americans missed it. We missed a few things. Umami is that brain and tongue. It's like you brought a salad and you didn't want it. Your body needs that satiating feeling. So it provides texture, flavor. Portobello mushroom is the big one. Meats, rich seasonings, and an heirloom tomato. I just bought a yellow one, and beets because the tomato was from the garden, and I just like that does it for me. That helps me get that umami in too. So, like I said, our bodies crave homeostasis. Instead of judging our cravings and taste, add them into your food. Throw some fresh herbs on there. And that will help maybe some of these too, some bitters or everything too. Let me see if I missed anything here. So let's practice the whole thing. Okay, ready? Okay, sorry, close your eyes. I should have like done that differently. There we go. Let's place your hand on your heart. Take 5 deep breaths. Feel your main emotion for 90 seconds. We'll kind of shorten it for this round. State your mantra, make up your own. Even though I'm amazingly complicated, I love and adore myself. I am supported. What else do I need? I trust myself in the present moment. You can play with them. You can kind of combine them. Then, if it's dinner time coming up for you all, or lunch, wherever you're at in the world, ask if your body wants hot or cold and sweet or savory. And I'll give you a minute too. I'll give you a second to do that one. Because I want all of them. Because I'm so excited. I'm not surprised. So, and my other secret for this is when you start to practice this, bring both soup and salad to work or whatever. If you have to prepare, you'll buy both for a while and you'll start to see your rhythms. So if I know that I had cold, I definitely want a hot. If I know I went hot, I want a cold. Like I start to see some of our patterns. So your nervous system will start to anticipate your needs and meal plan for you instead of this darn frontal lobe trying to do all the work that it gets tired by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It's like, I'm out. All right. So ask your body what's hot or cold, sweet or savory. That's one you keep practicing forever. I love to rotate them all too. And then, like I said, in my recipe book, it's broken down. The recipes are broken down into those. And then my food combining has 4 meal types. And then the recipe book breaks them down by meal type too. So I had to do that nutrition thing that people wanted me to do. So I'm going to show 2 more slides over on the other, and then we can open up for questions. Let's see, where's my PowerPoint? 1 second. Okay, 1 more second. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So we went over to the guide and did that, and you're going to have that as your complimentary download. And you'll go to this link, Jacqueline. She didn't do it already. If she did, awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline. And then you'll go to my cart, and it looks like I got some emails. I think you all were already doing it. And you put in Awkwardly Zen. I don't think it's case sensitive, by the way. I tried it both ways, but I just wrote it how it looks cool. And I don't think it's case sensitive. And you'll put that in, and I want to say I charge like whatever I charge, $22. So it's a free gift here for you all. And then you'll get the guide. Hopefully, if not, my true assistant, Jose, will help you with that. And then you can follow me. I just started a new Instagram because I'm separating my business from my name for a while. I just kind of got overwhelmed with both. So I'm playing around with it. So Nutrition for Intuitives is my new one, but I'm Heather Fleming, and follow me and my dog in our tiny house. That's what we're doing over there. And I do offer private nutrition intuitive sessions. Of course, you can book with me to see if we're the right fit. I like to say, if we fit together, like organic almond butter and jelly, cool. If we don't, I'll tell you and give you some other ideas. And then my main company that I've been growing up together with is called Conscious Nutrition. And we've had quite a ride. We've had quite a ride. Here's some of the resources I've used for this presentation. And I had a couple extra slides if I needed to talk more, but I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Let me see if there's any questions. Let me change my view so I can see everyone. Okay. AK says that he understands that paying attention to cravings is important, but then Carl's Jr.'s commercials get him hooked. Any tips, or should he go into marketing?
He nailed it. They did. They nailed it. The fourth meal. I heard that and then I didn't believe it, I guess. And then because I don't have commercials in my life, because my nervous system is sacred, aka it's sacred. So I don't want those coming at me. Put it into your radar that you may want burger and fries, but do it from a place of empowerment. I know that when I start craving champagne, I know I want connection. It's not about the champagne. It's about, oh, I want to make brunch for my friends. That's always what it is. When I'm really sad, my big craving is macaroni and cheese. And I feel the mac and cheese. I have 2 mac and cheese recipes in the recipe book, y'all. There's a vegan one and the good old one. The vegan one is amazing. Even if you're not a vegan, you all, it's awesome. So, AK, see what motion it's triggering. So do the 4 steps and see what main emotion, belonging, longing, who knows what you might uncover in there. But their marketing is out of this world. It makes me want to have a burger too. But I don't want to be powerless to be the burger. I want to have it with a friend. I want to grill it. My dog, I make her meat sometimes, or all the time. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know what? It's a yes. I've been craving that for 3 days. Like when we start to see it coming up to the radar, I would recommend it to put it in there. But yeah, they did a great job of marketing.
Okay. And then Teresa is asking if you could talk a little bit more about the identifying your main emotion.
Oh, that's so great. I almost put this chart in. Can you give me 1 second for this? Oh yeah, I have it already. I almost put this chart in, but I use this one a lot. Thank you for that gorgeous that amazing question too, Teresa. Give me a sec. I want to show you this. This is from one of my fellow coaches and peers, Coach Emily. And you all might have seen something like this too. She calls it emotional fluency. And I'm more than happy to share this. Her and I did a YouTube video together too. I interviewed her because I just am like, this chart's just too good. So, and there's all those emotional wheels out there too. Is that what that one's called? The feeling wheel? That one's a good one. So I think she got it from that. And then she came up with this amazing one. So whatever feels safe to you to play with, I would recommend a chart on hand as you want to start identifying. So today my client was depressed. And we opened up this and she goes, oh, actually, I'm just sad and disappointed. And it was up here. So it was transitional. So if you could see, she made this chart: constrictive emotions, transitional, and expansive. So as humans, guess which ones we are? All of them. We're all over. We're not just going to be in one state. But I know that when I'm in, let's say when I'm in worry here, I know thrill is my go-to. I'll drive a different way to go run an errand. I'll buy a new kombucha that I've never tried before. Like my rebel is 100% thrill seeker. So to get me out of my different ones, I play with another one, not a bypass, but just to kind of like, why is that one still there? What can I do to help it along? And then like couple days later, like, oh yeah, it helped itself along too. So, and there's no shame on here because that's the one emotion you don't want to go explore, because shame is unworthy. Like it's saying we aren't deserving, right? That's what shame is. So we don't want to explore that one. But if your shame is coming up, I would put it like it might be over here with blame. I would look at another emotion to kind of work with too. So she calls them false emotions, authentic emotions. So this is one chart I use. I used to use another one. I love the feeling wheel. I used to use that one. So I hope that helps. Did that help? That would be a whole nother 90-minute.
There's not a PDF.
It is a PDF. Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I can't remember if it'll work. Can you try to put that link in the chat and see if it'll open for folks? And if not, then we'll figure out a way to get it to them.
Or I can give the YouTube link to of her talking about it. That feels better for me too. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Let's see what we've got over here. Okay. Looks to me like those are the questions that we've got over in the chat. Does anyone else have a question? If you want to put up your reaction hand, I'm going to be brave and take off the unmute yourself button. Okay. Well, Heather, what great information. How beautiful for that. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, and also for the lovely gift for our members. Like, that is so so generous and so wonderful. And just another sign of how our partners work with Awkwardly Zen. So I'm just so grateful for that. We've got one more question. Is it true that the color of food you eat helps with the corresponding chakras or shape, like kidney beans for kidneys or raspberries for heart?
Oh my gosh, I love that God's Pharmacy video. Do you remember that God's Pharmacy video? I would teach kindergartners that one. It had like the walnut looks like a brain. And I remember, and like the kidney looks like our kidneys. So yes, I definitely have seen wonderful results with that. Chinese medicine is amazing at helping with that too, especially chakras also. And it's called God's Pharmacy. It's the cutest little video out there too. And I remember one time, I have to tell this story, it was kindergartners and I had the walnut and I was like, what organ is this? And the 5-year-old goes, testicle. And I was like, because it was brain, but then I was like, no, it's the other brain. Ah! And then the dad like laughed at me. It was just such a great story. So thank you for letting me think of that story. Okay.
Anytime a child yells testicle, it's a good time. That's not true.
Good time I had by all.
That's so funny. Okay, and then another question coming in over here is, any tips on weight loss?
Oh, did I lose connection? No, just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, weight loss is I would say practice the safety feeling, the mantra feeling, choosing from a place of connection usually will help your body feel safe. And then the weight releasing is a sign your body's safe. That's what I believe the most. Cool. Or there's nutrition programs out there, my recipe book too, that might help. So yeah, it's complicated. And that's a complicated question. Thank you though. Thank you.
Yeah, Heather, along with that, is kind of what your theory is, from what I've understood from tonight, is that it is a personal thing, and figuring out what it is with that relationship with food that's causing that weight to kind of stick around. Is that part of like what you try to work with your clients?
100% emotional, totally. And I even noticed in my consults, like one consult will be more emotional, one consult will be more physical, one will be more emotional, like in spiritual. So it's not just, if I just told everyone to eat vegetables and white fish and hung up, then I would be a multi-billionaire and everyone would do it. But I haven't figured out that, and I don't think anyone has. It is your own personal journey. People fluctuate. We have this thing called menopause that I just became friends with. And it's like, it's a perimenopause. And you have things in your life that cause things. So it's such a personal journey. And all I'll say is be so compassionate with yourself during it, instead of trying to make it harder. Making it harder usually causes more cortisol, and our body doesn't love that.
Thank you, Heather, for answering. It's a super complicated question, so I appreciate your thoughts on that. And then I cannot wait to hear what Paula has to say.
Hi, Kitty.
So I just want to share that I've known Heather for probably 15 years. And one of the there's two really powerful things that I've learned from Heather. One of them is relative to weight loss. And it is that 70% of weight loss is through the breath. when I'll never forget, we were presenting together at the Omega Institute in upstate New York, and she said that, and I was like, what? And I'm going to go with the Heather joke, but what about poop? And I was like, no, it's breath. And she helped understand how important it is for us to focus on that breath. So I love this 5 deep breaths. I think that's very, very important to help you check in. But the other thing that I've learned from Heather more than anything is check in before I eat. And what is honoring of my soul? What is it that's going to honor my soul, my body, my mind, my intentions right now? Is it a big glass of water? Is it hot, cold, sweet, or savory? That has been the best guide for what do I need to eat right now to honor my body, mind, spirit the most. And oftentimes just checking, is it hot or cold? Okay, it's cold. Is it sweet or savory? Sometimes it's both. Like, I'm a big fan of the sweet and savory salad. It's my favorite. So those 2 pieces, I hope, are takeaways for you guys too, because I've used them for years. I still think of the hot, cold, sweet, savory all the time. And I frequently do my very best to breathe out every single excess out on my body.
We're like all gonna be lions breathers. Thank you. Oh, and so sorry, savory is rich and salty too. I'm so sorry, but I put that in my mind to remind you all. I didn't know what else to call it. So it's like rich, salty. What other word would be in there? Pungent is in there, maybe a little bit bold, robust. Like I could have used 100 other words, but I went with what we all usually crave, like a crepe. When you go to a crepe French place, they have the sweet crepes and the savory crepes. That's how I chose it.
Love that. Thank you, Paula. And thank you again, Heather. I'm going to hold for just a second to see if there's any other questions that are coming up, but I think we are good. You did such a great job with your presentation. Remember, everybody, to grab that packet of information that Heather is so kind to gift to all of us. I'm so grateful for that. This will be up in the next few days on awkwardlyzen.com. Nope. Not on awkwardlyzen.com. Actually, it will probably be on awkwardlyzen.com on the Zen feed. So get your free membership. It'll also be on our YouTube channel, which is the Awkwardly Zen Network. Jacqueline just threw that over there in the chat. Heather, did you grab that link for the
Nope.
video by chance? So for anyone who wants that chart, that would be great. And also your YouTube would be awesome. Wonderful. Okay, and then we'll add that, all of the information that she said she'll send, we'll add that into the write-up on our video of that. So you can check that out. Please be patient with me. I'm a little behind on videos. So I'll get that up as soon as I possibly can. And thank you all for being such a great audience for Heather tonight. Heather, any last thoughts?
Be kind, moan more, and nurture yourself.
That's a t-shirt right there. You're not going to be sent the replay. I do not have everyone's email addresses. So if you just keep track of the Awkwardly Zen YouTube and check in with there periodically, it'll pop up there in the next few days. Again, also, if you are a member on awkwardlyzen.com, even one of our free members, you'll have access to the videos on the Zen feed, which is where you pop in there. There's some paid membership stuff on there that you won't have access to, but all of our replays are always going to be listed there. So again, patience with me while I get that done in the next couple of days. But yeah, the replay will be there so you guys can check that out. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And thank you, Jacqueline, for being an amazing co-host. Heather, beautiful as always. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Have a good night.
Jacqueline. Thank you, everyone.